Hi, hello, this is Jules the Human here, and welcome to the Jules Matt Anime Hour. I'm one of your hosts, Jules the Human, and every week we go out into the world and we watch a little bit of anime, and then we come back here and discuss it. And this week we are finishing PUELLA MAGI MADOKA MAGICA. We're going to be ranking it on our ranking system. We'll do that at the end. And we are going to pick a brand new anime. So with the end of this one, we go on to another adventure and watch anime with you. If this is your first time watching, thank you so much for checking this out. But we are like a little anime club. You come in, you watch, you get to talk about it with us live. If you're watching it on Twitch, twitch.tv/JulesTheHuman on Thursdays, or on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can watch it all there. But I've already seen Madoka Magica. My co-host Matt Galley, this is the first time that you've seen Madoka Magica, and I'm happy that you got to experience it. And how are you doing?
Wow, an experience would be the right way to describe this show after watching the last 4 episodes, in my opinion. That it is exactly that, just an experience. Yeah. And we're gonna talk about it a lot here, and but really, just from the top of the show, if you're not keeping up with these episodes as we're doing, the show, this is the first time I'm going to say, just before you listen to this episode, please, if you haven't seen the show before, go back and watch the show first. Don't listen to this discussion without watching the show first.
I didn't make him say it. He said it. This is one of my favorite anime, by the way. And also, this is my first time rewatching it. And I still cried 2 times in the last 2 episodes, once in each episode. And I was like, bro, I already know this. I already know it's going to happen. And it just hit. And I didn't know it was going to hit that way. But these last 4 episodes are very interesting because I feel like each 4 episodes were different shows. And this one is just instantly just thrown in and concludes a lot of stuff and does a lot for these characters that we love. And it's at such a high pacing. It's so wild, the pacing that we got to by the end. But talking about Madoka Magica, then we're going to pick a new anime from one of these on the list here, the Anime Chest of Dreams. We have a ton of anime here, some suggested by me and Matt, but then most of them are suggested by you. And if you would like to add an anime to the chest before the end of the episode at 500 bits live on Twitch here, and you can suggest an anime and put it in the list, and it'll be in the chest, and we'll get to pick randomly which one we watch next, at least the first arc or the first 12 episodes or so. But we are going to rank this anime, and we got a lot to talk about, so let's jump into it because I want to end it. I want to get to the end. I want to talk about it.
And then we still have to pick a new show.
And we have to pick a new show. So what happens in episode 9? I'd never allow that to happen.
Episode 9 kicks off with Sayaka manifesting as a witch, and unfortunately this means that Madoka and Homura, Kyoko all have to retreat from the situation and try to figure out what to do. Kyubei reveals to Madoka his emotionless society and the energy that they're after, what the goal is of the incubators. Kyoko meets with Madoka in an attempt to save Sayaka's soul. They formulate a plan. However, things do not go according to plan, leaving Kyoko to take care of Sayaka's witch, going down in a blaze of glory.
Yeah. We got a lot of info dump. I don't know about you, but during this show, the info dumps don't feel too much because I still have it leaves me with a lot more questions. Like in these last 4 episodes, especially, and yeah, I guess throughout the whole show, there was sometimes where there was an extended exposition where it's hey, we're explaining this thing, and I never felt like it overstayed its welcome. I never felt like they were okay, come on, pulling my hand, hurry up, get with the times, get with what we're talking about. It always felt like we were figuring it out for the first time and it was interesting, probably because the main characters were figuring it out for the first time as well. Like the main characters were like, "Oh, this is new to me," and that's how I felt. I was like, "Wait, what? You the the magical girls turn into witches, bro, and
Mhm.
then they are like, ah,"
Yep.
like, you know what I mean?
And
So
all along the way, Homura is acting like, "Oh, yeah, this is just things that are, like, by the books," and everybody's like, "Why is this, like, by the books? Why haven't you told us about anything?" And, in the next episode, we get to see why things are that way.
yeah, they say, "For as much happiness you give to one, you curse another." In okay, so that's like the blatant thing here, and it goes on to the end as well. But like, there's always like an equal
Exchange.
exchange, an equivalent exchange,
Mhm.
for energies here. Um, that's cool. I mean, that's fine to that's fine, like, anime logic, I guess, and that's sort of, I guess, how I feel about real life too sometimes, where it's like, "Oh, man, something this is going too good. This gonna get into a car accident."
Mm.
Um, so, like, yeah, that I like that whole thing about the universe where it's like, you're doing so much good that there's gonna be an equal bad somewhere, a Walpurgisnacht, if you will, at some point, which is kinda cool. I would like to go back and count how many hair flips Hamada does, because she does so many hair she does the pause, she does and then
Mhm.
hair flip. I love Hamada for that.
It's always when she's making a statement about something. It's always an
Yeah,
impactful moment.
or running walking away from something.
Yeah, that too.
So like you said, we get a lot more info about Cube. Cube is a life form that converts emotions into raw energy, and apparently human souls are the greatest use of power, which is the most powerful ones are girls around the adolescent age in the second age of their before adulthood, who experience fluctuations between hope and despair in the second stage of development. Did you I mean, I gotta ask you as a first timer, like, did this explanation of why he picked magical girls, like all this stuff about how he's done this throughout time, the incubators are what made humans evolve, sort of, because of these wishes and all that. Did you buy into that? Like, is that believable?
I mean, just because of how, like, I'm not a like I'm a history buff, but I'm not like a
Sure.
history expert. But there are some periods of human history where it's like, how were these types of feats accomplished at that time? It's kind of crazy to think about it. And, it's because we had such extraordinary people that were able to lead us through those times and help us make those bounds of development. But here you have this, yeah, this life form basically saying, "Oh yeah, if you guys weren't influenced by us, you'd still be in caves." And so we've just been with your society since forever. So if you're going to put it into perspective like that, like since forever, it's like, yeah, sure, but if they were going to say that like they dropped in at some period of time, it would have been a little bit more iffy because
Gotcha.
later on when they're showing like when he's like showing her all the bits of history, they kind of like infer that like Cleopatra and like Joan of Arc and like
We're
other,
magical girls, yeah.
yeah, throughout history. And it's like, well, when you put it like that,
Yeah,
it like I'll buy into it for the story that I'm experiencing. Yes,
yeah.
I think it was like believable within the context of the story.
Yeah, because the setting is, I guess, Japan, our time. So
Yeah,
it's like it's supposed to be super believable. Like this is our timeline. This is happening somewhere in the world where magical girls are fighting this disease, this darkness, you know what I mean? And it I don't know. I was like the way they explained it, I was like, yeah,
yeah.
okay, cool. That's super dope. And then Kyobei says, which is a pretty cool line. I really like this line. If you ever feel like dying for the sake of the universe, call me anytime. To Madoka, which was really funny to me. I really laughed.
That just sounded so passive aggressive.
Yeah, because he even says in this episode he doesn't understand trickery. He doesn't
Yeah.
understand emotions. These life forms don't understand it. And then he says later, I don't know if it's in this episode or later on, that when he found humans, they're like, oh my god, these people, how do these people survive with each other? And I was like, okay,
Yep.
okay.
Because they all have their own individual set of like emotions and characteristics and stuff, but they're still able to live together in harmony. That's like
How
what
is
he
this
says.
possible? And then when he said that, I was like,
Yeah,
mm,
exactly. Exactly.
we're barely getting by, but it's barely how people are mad at beer
So
cans.
it's not a perfect argument that he's making there
No,
either
well, he
for
doesn't
sure.
understand.
Exactly.
He just doesn't understand that his argument is weird. He's like, look at y'all, y'all are alive. That's
Yeah.
crazy. And we're like, bro, I'm sad.
Yeah.
Fight for Sayaka rages on. Kyoko battles and Hamada protects Madoka. This is our look here. And then Kyoko ripperoni to Kyoko because I enjoyed Kyoko. Big
Mhm.
sads here. Let's go. Keep going on to episode 10. I won't rely on anyone anymore because this is sort of where it kicks off and sort of throws us in,
Oh yeah.
ramps it up. So what happens in episode 10 of PUELLA MAGI MADOKA MAGICA?
To make this all like we all that are talking about it right here, we've all seen it. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. um Episode 10 sees us jumping through multiple timelines to give context as to what Hamada has endured time and time again in an attempt to save Madoka, because that is the wish that she made to become a magical girl, was to become stronger, to save Madoka and not be the one who was saved in their original meeting in the quote unquote first timeline that she ever lived in. But because of her
Ooh,
wish, she gained a time manipulation magic, and now she's able to jump back
redo.
in time and redo the past month of her life over and over and over again in an attempt to save Monica. And before I forget it, because the show will like touch on it a little bit later, but I don't know how much notes I have down for it. uh Everything we know about falling into grief, you become a witch and such. This is basically, the one thing that keeps Hamada going is the faith that she will be able to save Madoka.
Hope. Yes, for sure. Oh boy, I love this episode so much. We see a very different Hamada here. This is Hamada
Caught me
Prime.
so off guard. I was like, what is going on? And then when I realized what was
Uh,
going on, like my
yes.
brain just blew up.
Again, they don't hold your hand. They didn't tell you. They just
Yeah.
started it off this way, and they're like, "Hey, this is what we're doing," and it gives you time, and they drop clues about what's going on. It's like, "Oh my god, wait, we're in the past or a different timeline. What's going on here?" So
Hmm.
we see Hamada very timid. She's been bedridden for a really long time, and then she wakes up, and then she comes back to school, and we're going through these timelines. Then we see mommy back, and we're like, oh my god, mommy and Monica as a magical girl. So this is the first instance that we're seeing Monica as a
As a
magical girl.
magical
She did
girl.
it in episode 10. Wow. But this is also,
Not the timeline that we see at the start of the series in episode 1.
so this happened in the past, I guess,
If
a
episode
long
1
time
kicked
ago.
off, you could call that like timeline X, where X is however many times Hamada has had to
Yeah.
repeat this past month over and over again. And then the timeline we see right here is timeline 1.
Hmm. Unfortunately, mommy still dies. Monica
Yeah.
keeps going to fight while Purgisnot is going. Um, there are during these like little timeline stuffs, it always seems like there are some main points that keep getting hit
Hmm.
that I guess don't matter to Hamada as much because she wants to save Monica so badly. Like mommy
Hmm.
dying.
That was her
Uh
wish, though,
yeah, I
to be
mean
fair.
that's true. Yeah. Mommy dying, Kyoko dying sometimes. Um
This
it
much.
just happened. AOT enters the chat. Oh buddy. Um so and while Purgisnot is happening, it always happens, it always will happen.
And we get
Uh
told that it is a huge witch. Like
yeah.
it's a powerful witch
Hmm.
that a singular person probably doesn't have the capability of defeating.
But they try, Monica tries, Hamada tries,
This
mommy.
shot, like, haunted me and will
Oh
haunt
my
me.
god. Because she didn't.
I
So
felt things
this is
that this
Hamada.
shot like was trying to convey.
Also,
Like
how
the sound of her, like the sound in the voice actor's like voice, like just carried so much weight. It was insane.
and we don't hear the shot, right? We just see the light.
You see the
You
muzzle
just see the
flash and then it
light,
cuts away.
and then it
Yeah.
cuts away. Oh, so good. I love it. Um, we so to explain, I guess if you don't know, this is Hamada shooting with her real gun, Madoka because she doesn't want her to turn into a witch. Because she doesn't want to turn it. Madoka doesn't want to turn into a witch, which
It's a
is wild.
mercy
Mercy
killing,
kill.
basically. Yeah.
How cool is it though? I thought it was really cool that Hamada, because she only has time magic, she just gets a bunch of guns. I was like, let's fucking go. Like
Showing
that's how
her
she
just like raid the Yakuza
yeah, like she's
headquarters
had
and
these
stuff.
guns and it's been so out of place. We've seen Hamada use guns before,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, so out of place with Magical
But
Girl.
you're just
What the
like,
hell?
sure.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And then
But we
it's
find out it's only because she was
she only
using
really
bombs,
yeah
and in a timeline it was Sayaka who was like, well, you two use, like, you know, you're using ranged weapons, I'm using a sword, she's using bombs. Can we think about that dynamic, please?
yeah because she made bombs. That was kind of cool. But then she was like, well, yeah, because she doesn't she her magic is time magic,
Hmm.
and where the other ones use other types of magic. But she did this physically to make bombs, and now she's physically using real guns, which was kind of cool. I don't know. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm always down for gun people. Just
And I like how it shows her being able to accomplish that feat in this episode, so that way later on in episode 11, when it shows her going toe to toe with Walpurgisnacht, sorry, like we don't even question a million bazookas and RPGs. It's just like, dang, she must have been going to the military headquarters of whatever this place is.
shoots, pauses time, shoots again, pauses, shoots, and then starts time, and they all shoot together. So
Awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
Love it. Um
But I just like how it gives the context for that here, so that way it doesn't like we don't even question it later on.
no,
Certain things
yeah,
like that.
for sure. Hamada wishes to save Madoka. She goes back in time. Madoka made Hamada promise to go back in time to save everything and not let her become a magical girl. That was the crux of everything. That at the end, at the very end, Madoka said, please don't make me make this mistake. This is horrible. I never want to do this. Please don't let me do this. And she says, yes, I love you. You're my friend. Let's do it. So, um, yeah, she goes back in time many times. How many timelines do you think there is? I mean, or not anymore, but like how many timelines how many times do
There
you think
had to have been
she
a
went?
couple dozen
It's
with how
insane.
jaded she was, and
Yes.
just like how, you know, calculated she was, minus the, like you said, there were certain things that she was kind of letting slip by.
Yeah.
Unless it's literally this shot right here is when it gets into the episode 1. But with how many things that she lets slip by, it almost makes me feel like there are certain like inevitabilities to certain timelines, but in other timelines there are things that can be like kind of like changed around
Yeah,
and
because
avoided.
in one of them um we see what's her name? Mommy
Mhm.
try to shoot she shoots Kyoko, I think.
She shoots
She shoots at Hamada.
either she shoots
She
at Sayaka's soul gem, I think, or Hamada's soul gem, or no,
because
Kyoko's
like
soul gem, after Sayaka turns into a witch, because she's like, well, if that's what we're gonna turn into, like, we
might
got
as
to
well
stop it now, right?
we gotta
So
kill ourselves pretty
yeah,
much. And it was
she
like,
shot
wha-
Kyoko's soul gem, and then Madoka had to shoot Mommy's soul gem in order to save herself and Hamada.
that one was wild.
That
That
was
was
wild. Yeah, I
that was a
was
lot.
not expecting that.
So it
Ay,
gets
ay.
super insane. Madoka defeats Walpurgisnacht and becomes the biggest evil and could destroy the planet in 10 days. And then Hamada keeps going into endless time loops. And there's like a ton of different stuff that happens. Let's get into episode 11. The only thing I have left to guide me, because Hamada is here trying to figure it out, trying to make this timeline the one. And what happens?
This episode starts with Kyubey revealing to Hamada that because of the nature of her magic, she has inadvertently caused karmatic fate to wind tightly around Madoka. Madoka, avoiding telling her mom about Sayaka, gets an info dump from Kyubey yet again, this time about how the incubators have strongly influenced the entire course of human history. Madoka asks Hamada about Walpurgisnacht after remembering Kyoko mentioning it. Hamada reveals her identity before taking on and the intention to take on Walpurgisnacht alone. Everybody's in a shelter as nobody, the people can't actually see what's going on with Walpurgisnacht, and Kyubey convinces Madoka to just go see for herself because she's questioning about what's going on. Hamada can't defeat Walpurgisnacht by herself and begins to fall into despair before Madoka shows up with Kyubey in tow, Hamada asking her, please don't do what you're about to do.
Did it make sense that Hamada, with making this single event, Madoka dying, going back in time to stop it, maybe a dozen times, we think, that whole reasoning why Madoka has the potential to be the biggest, most powerful magical girl in the world. Did that make sense?
I don't think so.
Really? Okay.
I don't know if that one
I
hit for
bought it.
me.
Okay.
Like, why does that combine with her potential? If the show's
Because
telling me that it's supposed to, sure, but I don't see the correlation, I guess.
because her wish has all the power, because her wish is what turns her into a magical girl, is how I took it. So like whatever.
So is it, it's because of the fact that Hamada is trying so hard to keep her from becoming a magical girl that's happening now?
That event keeps not happening, or that event changes everything, changes the course of everything. Because once it does happen, and once Madoka, I guess, actually dies, then that timeline is the true one. Or wouldn't the power be to Hamada if Hamada ever died, I guess? Because she's the one that's creating all I don't know.
That's what I
Okay,
mean
now I'm questioning.
when we get into the time if the show told me, hey, that's how it works, I'll accept it
I
for the
think
sake of the story,
that
but
was probably Kyubey telling us that, like,
yeah.
yo, this is why you're a powerful magical girl. This is like the most potential. I don't know. I don't know.
Because
Okay, no, I don't
he
know.
keeps saying none of this stuff has even he always, when we think he's trying to hide his cards, I think he's actually showing his hand when he says things like, well, I don't know, because these things haven't happened before. I think
Because he
that's
doesn't.
him being genuine.
Yeah, because he
And
doesn't
so
understand
yeah,
trickery or anything, or sarcasm, or
exactly. So I
whatever.
feel like in this moment, in this instance, he's just kind of like he's just kind he asks her, I think it was in don't you think that because of your time magic this could be happening? And then she just doesn't respond, and then he's just like,
Huh.
see,
I knew it.
like, so I don't even know. And not even that, that honestly at this point in the series, I don't even know if the concept of Madoka having a lot of potential needed to have an answer.
Okay. Yeah.
I feel like it's something the show could have just wrote out because of the wish she does end up making anyways.
Yeah.
Because not to spoil, the wish she does make unravels the
Fabric of
weaves of
everything.
existence itself,
Yeah.
yeah. So
I think it was just a nice little touch that Hamada is the reason why
okay,
that
I
this
like that.
happened.
I like that that's what the show's trying to get at. Like,
Yeah.
you trying so hard to keep this thing from happening has
And that
actually doomed
was,
this person to a fate even more worse than what you were trying to
yeah,
keep
and
them
this is
from
the
in the first
catalyst
place.
of her
I like that.
sadness.
Mhm.
Yes.
I like that. Whether the gymnastics I'm trying to make in my head, like, makes sense, I'm just like, "Blah," but I like how it's playing with the themes of yeah.
Sure. Also, during this whole info dump here, QB tries to justify our food system to
Oh,
Monica
yeah, that too.
about this whole thing. It was so odd. It was really weird. I don't like QB. Um, it's just so weird. Like he's like, yeah, you don't care about cows and chickens and all that stuff. It's the same thing. We're you all are just our food, sort of. And it's like, well, I mean, yeah, but I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to
All
understand.
my
It's hard
homies
to
hate Cube.
yeah. All the homies hate QB. Fucking yeah. Look at this there. Look at this. Lifeless eyes die.
Yeah, this shot is just yeah.
uh,
And I
uh
love the shot of if you go back to the shot of when he's info dumping, and it's like, yeah, I love this shot because it's showing like he's such a small person, but this shot with the juxtaposition of Madoka groveling and like him looming behind her
yeah.
really shows
So
the
good.
actual dynamic of their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And that's him. He's always there, looming in the back, just watching.
Ugh. Oh wait, I
True.
gotta get to back to the okay. So yeah, like we talked about earlier, the incubators propelled life as we know it, and since the dawn of time, we see a whole thing about that. The moment that I cried in this episode was this whole scene here because the music stops.
Hmm.
There's no sound. It's just the voice actors acting. Monica's stopped by her mom. She says, "You don't live just for yourself." She smacks her. She said, "You don't live for yourself. You can't just go out there and just fucking do whatever willy nilly. Like I know you think you know. I know you think you know well and you mean well, but you live for others and we care about you pretty much." And then she's like, "No, I'm sorry. You've raised me well. Please trust me." And she's like, her mom's like, "Fuck, okay." You know?
Mhm, and
And I
she
was
she
like,
at the same
oh,
time, she's not disagreeing, but she
no,
says that, like, "This is something that I have to do, though."
it's
It's
something I
like,
have to do.
I understand there are people that care about me, but you have to understand
And
that
that
this is
she
something I have to do.
yes, and that ultimately Monica is doing it because she cares about everybody. She cares about all the magical girls.
And her mother herself said that she raised her to be such a great like, you've been you've grown up well and have grown up, basically.
I love them two together. I love these two. I really wish there was something a little bit more to their together,
You know
but
what
apparently
you know what I thunk back to in this
thunk.
moment was sorry, thought back to in this episode, was in episode 1 when we get introduced to her mother. It's Madoka walking down the hallway, like, scruffled hair early in the morning, and she's the one that walks into her mom's room and yanks the sheets off of her and opens the blinds. And then she's like, "Ah, like,
Yeah,
5 more minutes." So it's like, that alone shows that, this dynamic playing out, like, it's well intentioned because,
sure.
she has her maternal instincts at hand,
Uh-huh.
but Monica's grown.
Yeah, yeah. No, I loved it. I love their whole thing. I love all that stuff. I just wish her mom was more involved in the
Okay,
story. I meant like
that's
I
fair.
wish there was some conclusion to something. I wish there was something to I don't know.
We kinda get that.
I mean, even if Monica's mom, I don't want her to die. I don't want her to die. But even if Monica's mom somehow turned into a witch or got captured by a witch or something, that could have been a whole thing, and I would
Okay.
have liked that. And maybe she does die, and that's a catalyst for something else. I just felt like, and
Do
I
you
read,
think
hmm,
sorry to cut. Do you think, that if Monica's mom had become, like, witch kissed or something like that, Monica would have made a contract with Cube earlier?
yes,
Yeah?
that would have been it. I
Yeah.
think that's the one that she cares about the most,
What were
even
you
though she
saying?
loves Hamada.
Yeah.
Yes. So I read about I think the mangaka or the person doing I don't know which one came first, the manga or the anime, but the person that made the story just really wanted a strong female character. And I was like, hell yeah, let's go. That they really admired something like that. And they just really wanted a strong, an emotionally stable female character that does that goes to work. And it was like,
And
okay,
she is emotionally
cool.
stable. Even when she gets asked the question like, "Hey, if you could wish for anything, what would it be?" She immediately starts talking about like work-related stuff.
Yeah. And it's like that's realistic because she's an adult and she understands and all that stuff. So I not that I wanted anything more from their story or their characters. I wanted her to die or anything. I just saying like it was nice to have her on the background, but I wanted more of her. I
Okay.
wanted her more involved in something. But I love I if anything, this scene got me going again for some
Mhm.
reason. I was just oh, it just hit me 2 nights ago or so. Um, and Madoka is choosing again to save Hamada and possibly becoming a magical girl. So this is the timeline we're currently in, where she's choosing to go out and save Hamada. And at this point, I think she's going to turn to a magical girl. So it's like, what's going to happen? Episode 12, My Very Best Friend. And this is the end. This is the last episode of Madoka Magica. And there's a lot here. So how does this end, Matt Galley?
Madoka comforts Hamada before making her wish. Um, Her wish unfolds the fabrics of reality itself, causing the entire universe to basically perform a hard reset before booting back up. Um, we see over the course of what's probably a third or a half of the episode a visualization of Madoka transcending her physical form to take on the role of becoming a concept, a force of nature in the universe, to behold her will that all witches, past, present, future, should never exist. A new universe is created, allowing for a more harmonious relationship between humans and the incubators. And with the memories of Madoka, Hamada fights on protecting this new world. The end.
That's it. Oh my god, dude. This episode is insane.
Yeah.
I I want to hear I'm not crying, you're crying. I cried at this episode, bro. I cried on
I
this one
cried a lot.
too.
I cried a lot.
I Monica decides to become a magical girl, but this is the last time. This is the final timeline. This is the final rewriting everything. Monica wishes to erase all witches, past, present, and future, before they are born. We know magical girls, once their soul gems get tainted, they turn into grief seeds and they become witches. Magical girls into witches, which was established a while ago. And
Mhm.
now Madoka is going to put a stop in the middle and say, no, I will stop you from turning into a witch, and you will not, and you will die. And she essentially becomes death, I guess.
Mhm.
Death,
In a way.
the concept of
Magical
death,
girl death.
magical girl death, because she stops them from turning into witches. She rewrites everything.
They just vanish now.
Fucking Cube's like, oh wait, wrong one. Cube's like, wait a minute, you're gonna become God, and
And she's like, I don't care if I become God. I just know I'm putting a stop to this.
yeah, and it will go against all the fabric of reality. Monica intends to end all witches from the beginning of time. Monica's death to all magical girls appears before a magical girl dies to stop them from becoming a witch. So what we see, the vision before a magical girl dies, is Madoka coming to save them and
She's like, pew,
put
pew.
out their gems, and then they die. We see so many magical girls die, but they're like,
Because it's all throughout
okay,
history, past,
yeah,
present, and future.
and they're all okay with it. And Madoka becomes the concept of death, I guess, because she becomes the greatest magical girl ever, stopping all of them from becoming the darkness.
Mhm. And there's even the concept of her doing that causes her witch self to manifest, but because of her wish, she's able to put a stop to her witch form, creating a contradictory paradox in the universe, and that's what leads us to a new universe where we kind of jump off right off the bat with Mami and Kyoko and Hamada all standing around where it seems like they just came out of like a labyrinth or something
Yeah,
where
and
they're
they're
talking
fighting
about
something else.
yeah, but they talk about how Sayaka just vanished and how she didn't have to vanish for some guy. So
In
even in
this
this new universe, Sayaka is still like, it's still passed on. But in this new universe, Mommy is here. And that's like
and Sayaka
immediately,
doesn't turn into a witch.
and Sayaka doesn't turn into a witch, she just vanishes. Immediately to me, and so Kyoko doesn't have to die because she doesn't have to fight Sayaka as a witch. So that's out of the way. And because witches are no longer a thing, so you don't have to get grief seeds anymore to purify your soul gem, there's no in my head, that means there's no reason for magical girls to compete against each other. So
So they're all
Mommy's
friends.
able to live because now she has friends that she's able to rely on and isn't easily caught off guard by a witch the second she does have a friend to fight with.
So all of this is implied, and you
It
can
doesn't
take
say
for
this.
it.
It doesn't say any of
No,
that.
it
Yeah.
doesn't say any of that. But like, I'm glad you took that, because that's what it is. Because yes, and it lets you figure out as much as you want. Because I know you went deep with it. You're like, oh, they're all here because this, what you just said. Where like it's just super basic. Like, okay, they didn't die, whatever. But like, it could be whatever you want. It's so cool.
Yeah.
That they're just like, hey, this is the universe now.
Yeah.
Connect the dots if you want.
And another dot to connect is that because Sayaka would still have feelings for I'm forgetting his name right now. Because she would still have feelings for him, she would probably still make a wish for him, and because the other girl still exists, she would probably still have feelings for him too. Like, yeah, so she would still end up kind of like falling into whatever this method of grief is. She probably went down just fighting a bunch of, in this new universe we have things called wraiths.
That's what they fight now.
And so now incubators just collect the energy from wraiths that are slain, and apparently they just manifest off of the negative emotions or influences of everything in the universe now. It's a whole, because witches were gone, something equal had to show up.
Sure.
But there's now the law of nature that magical girls will vanish once they have depleted their magical energy, or whatever that means.
So Madoka became a concept essentially, and there's no memory of her. There'll be no memory of her left. She has become timeless. She is a thought, and she doesn't care because she's saving everybody, which is super dope.
And she's okay doing that because she saw and
because
understood what Hamada did for her and the lengths she went to try to save her from the fate that she originally asked her to save her from.
This was
blah 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 blah.
This was the moment, because while they're all naked or whatever, it doesn't matter. But this is when I cried, because like Madoka was like, I saw you, Hamada, in all of the timelines. In every timeline you went to, you tried to save me, and you saved me again. And how much turmoil and how much times you hated everything, and you hated life, you hated yourself. And in all the infinite universes, I just want to say thank you. And I just want to, I love you as a friend. I'm not like that, but I love you more.
You really were my best friend.
You were my best friend, my very best friend. You were there every single time. And they're like there, and I'm just like, oh man, that's so good. Why can't Matt? Would you save me in every universe? If I was a magical girl, if I told you as a magical girl to save me and make me not.
Because yeah, I was when you asked me about it at the episode 1, and I was like, nope, Cube, get out of here. Get out of here.
I would become a magical girl.
I saw you fight Valpurgisnacht, and I'm like, Cube, take me back.
Hello everybody in the live chat. Thank you so much for joining us. We got some new people. We're finishing. We're about to rate Madoka Magica, and then we're gonna pick a new anime. We'll talk about it. But man, it's so good. We see Hamada still living her life in this new world. We see
and she's using a bow now. Oh my god.
She's using a bow because that's Madoka's weapon. No more
Just
guns.
keep
That's her.
digging those daggers right into
Well,
my
we
heart.
also see something worse than that was we also see Hamada with Madoka's little brother, and he can't stop saying Madoka's name for some reason. And she explains to her mom that this is just an imaginary friend that your son has, and I've had it too, and all this stuff.
And
I
she's
can see
wearing
her.
Monica's ribbon.
She's wearing
Like,
Monica's
oh, that's
ribbon. They
such a
have
cute
a
ribbon. If I had a daughter, I'd get her one like that.
yep, and it's so good. We go to a timeline. We go to a timeline that's collapsing, I guess, and we see um Kyosuke performing Ave Maria, where Sayaka's in the room and Sayaka's with Madoka talking. We're closing that little timeline there, and
Because
she
she's
just
talking
wanted
about Sayaka just wanted to be able to see him play one more time. Yeah,
and she wanted more people to see him play, like
that too.
everybody, and
Yep.
then it turns into like a bunch of people there. Oh man, bro. This is all just the feels. The whole thing, just wrapping it all up. Here it is. And then Monica's brother drawing her in the sand. This is really sad. Um, so that's the end. And it goes on and says, hey, and it does this whole did you see the epilogue at the
I
end?
did. Yeah.
Yeah, where it's like, hey, no matter
I didn't
what,
really think about it much though.
why not?
I don't know.
Because it's sad.
It's sad.
Okay, that no matter where you are, even if you feel alone, there's someone fighting for you or somebody that loves you. There's someone there for you, and that's like the ultimate like thing. Like even if you feel like you don't, you do.
Mhm.
And it's like so crazy because that's what it is. That's what Madoka is. That's what Madoka is, just the concept. But like we think we or Hamada knows for sure, but
Yeah.
we think there's somebody there, and she is there, and she's helping, and she wants to stop the witches from happening. She wants you to pass away well without turning into the evil. um
Without falling to despair.
yeah, and Hamada fighting to the end, keep fighting, pulls out the bow, and then it has her walking into it again, into fighting, continuing going on.
And I
And
just love how like Hamada keeps telling it implies that Kyubey and Hamada keep having conversations about the old universe. And Kyubey's like, it's just, it's you say these things, but there's no way to know what happened for sure. It could be you could have just had a crazy dream.
yeah.
And it's just like, oh, Kyubey, the great
Yeah.
invalidator.
Before we rate this
Invalidating
anime,
everybody's experiences.
before we rate this anime, I read a really good comment about this because and I want to share with you, I guess, about this anime and how this was so different from a magical girl standpoint that up until this point in time, there was never a magical girl story like this one.
Mhm.
So a lot of people were like, this deconstructs
Yeah.
magical girl Maho shoujos as a whole. It deconstructed it to be like, this is darkness, this is everything. But then it also, by the end, reconstructed it because this is how magical girls are now. They're all happy together. They're all fighting some evil. They don't turn into witches. So like it's almost like the original magical girl anime, which is kind of wild.
Origin. Yeah.
The
Like
origin
an
of
origin
all
story.
magical girls, yes,
Mhm.
which is pretty cool, which is pretty
Mhm.
wild to think about.
And that
Um,
is something that crossed my mind is that like, oh, it's like they're in an actual show now. Or not an
yeah,
actual show, but like, it's like the
now we
the
can go. Now we can start the
exactly.
now we can
This is
start
like
episode
a
1.
whole different show for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's rank this one. Let's rate it. We rate it on a scale, 3 different things: animation, storytelling, and vibes. And we put it on the list of all the anime we watched already on this podcast. And then we pick a new anime afterwards. So this is the end of Madoka Magica. Matt, what do you rate animation for this anime?
So like animation, I go back and forth a lot with this one only in my head because there is a conversation about like quality versus style, like stylistic choices
Mhm.
and the ways that they're able to pull things off that like I haven't necessarily seen before with a lot of the things they did with like the witch domains and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think I'm giving it an A on animation just because like there are some bits of you know, there are some bits in there that are just you can tell where the budget didn't get a lot of attention,
Sure.
wise. But it's still really good, still really strong, and as far as style goes, it outstyles most other anime I've seen.
Sure.
I struggle to think of something where stylistically it just pulls off so many different things in such a short amount of time, only 12 episodes.
Yeah. CZ
How would you
said,
rate it?
sure, I'll rate it right now. But CZ said, I hate to say it, I had to watch a YouTube video on the rest of the show. I tried the first 5 episodes, and the animation style was actually giving me a bit of a headache. Totally okay. I mean, that's understandable. It's a great story, but I do have to be honest as well. The animation is the lowest part about it. And it is, I guess, a hurdle. It was in the beginning for me, but I just love the witch domain so much. I love the weird paper mache. I love all the ugliness. The ugliness actually makes it look pretty for me, but I do gotta say their faces are really odd sometimes. So I'm gonna give animation an A, just because I think the facial stuff when they're not doing all the cool stuff
Mhm.
is bad. Um, but I don't have a problem with it. I'm fine with it. Usually, I do have a problem with animation, the way like if something looks ugly or looks
Mhm.
old. As of right now, it still kind of holds up for me. So I'm giving animation an A. The
Fair.
domains just make it, but yeah, the faces are, yeah, the domains, man, when I saw it, it blew my mind. I didn't understand how they could do that, even though it's probably like an easy thing to do physically, better than animation. I don't know if it's easier or not. I don't do any of that stuff, but the way they do like the motion, it's weird, and all of the different colors and all the different spirals and all that stuff. I love all that stuff. So it's outstanding until it's not. And
And
yeah,
the parts where it's not even that it's that bad. It's just not great. It
yeah,
holds up, but it's not
sure.
great.
Storytelling. Where do you rank storytelling for Madoka Magica?
Yeah, storytelling. I don't think anybody's surprised when I'm going to say that I'm giving this an S for storytelling for sure.
Hell
I
yeah.
If you want to know why I think that, watch the last 3 episodes. Where would you rate storytelling?
S tier, man. This is so good. I'm trying to think as well, like what could they have pasted out a little bit more, or do we need the focus to be something else in the first like sort of 8 episodes?
Oh yeah, because it needs
Because
to you need to build like rapport with the characters, like with their motivations. You need to be able to like get those individual moments of intertwining like parts of the story with multiple characters if you're trying to have a focus like that, because like the show did, it had to take time to really focus on Sayaka, so Sayaka becoming a witch was actually impactful. Like,
and us
it everything's
understanding.
intentional.
Yeah.
Like you have said in the past with these 12 episode animes, they have to really make good use of their time. So, I really felt as though at all times when there was something being presented, I was totally engaged with the story.
Hooray.
Yes.
Storytelling S for me as well. I loved it. I love it a second time. I cried twice. For on
I cried
some
a lot.
wild times,
I
man.
bawled at one point. I was like, I could not stop like tears from just
It's
coming. I was
so
just like,
good.
this is just wow. Yeah.
So it's also like super grand, right? Like it's
Yeah.
also because of it's the universe.
Mhm.
It's dealing with this huge concepts and throwing some
But it's
time in
able to
there.
deal with those huge concepts, but do it with these characters and still make these characters feel like grounded and believable in their motivations and, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
At least to me.
sure. Vibes. Where we at on the
Vibes,
vibes?
yeah, vibes are also just S check, S plus, whatever. Like
Ooh.
vibes are off of the charts with this one.
Oh, it's happening. It's
Yeah.
happening. Vibes are S tier for me as well. Love the vibes. They were super sad and made me feel things, but in a good way. I also love like uh the love that Hamada and Madoka have together. I love, all the different characters. I love Mommy. I love all the magical girls they presented. Hate fucking Cube, dying ditch bitch. But I just love them being together, and I want them to be together. I want them to be happy, but then when they're not happy, I love what's going on with the story. And it's so beautifully sad and broken and about some big concept about you're never alone. There's someone fighting for you. You're loved, all that stuff. Canonically, on this podcast, I have Psychopaths as an S tier anime, and I have them spread out all around the other places. Matt has not canonically had an S tier anime on this podcast yet. And let's rank Madoka Magica.
Music.
Where is it?
Come on.
S tiers for both of us. This is an S tier anime from me and Matt. Matt's first S tier. Oh my god, recommended. You need to watch this anime. This is great. Yeah. Love it. Let's throw it up on the board. Where is it at? At the top. Matt's first S tier. Matt's first S tier is Madoka Magica. There it is. That's how we ranked other anime before. We got a couple there. Super dope. My Before Future Diary. Oh no. S tiers all around. Me and Matt, we love this anime. This was such a good ride. Good. Oh my god, I love it. So dope. But with the end of this, I give you guys PTSD.
I promise that it's not just because we're going from something that, like, you know, I had to, you know, be really hard on into something.
It's not a rebound
into something that's you know, a lot. Yeah, it's not a rebound. I really thought on it. I took a lot of time to think about it, and I went back and I've watched like basically last night I rewatched most of the show. I was like, I like this, right? This is good, right?
What?
I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't just like joking myself on a rebound.
No. Because like, that could happen.
Yeah, I was so excited to just watch something fresh, but I went back and watched it, and like everything was just, it was, I could say that on rewatch it was almost like it was even better having the context of the second half revelations, and then going back and being like, that's that and that's that, and oh my, like, you, everything's there for you after you have those things later on. So holds up to rewatch right away in certain degrees.
So good. So with the end of Madoka Magica, we have to pick a brand new anime to talk about and put our personalities into coming up. And we have a list. If you'd like to get an anime on the list, 500 bits on Twitch Live. This is also available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube later on the day after. But if you would like to watch live and watch the anime with us, so the way this works is that we pick a random anime out of a chest, and that becomes our possibility or our personality for the next couple weeks, because we watch 4 episodes at a time, 4 or 5 episodes at a time. You go watch it, we watch it, we come back and discuss it here. And this is the anime chest with all the anime that you see here. Name, type in the chat what you want to see next. I don't know. I really was pushing for Kaguya-sama because I want a little fun, silly thing there. We've had some new one, Bake Monogatari, and a couple others. So this is it. What is it gonna be?
Got them all in there. I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna shuffle these around.
We need to name the chest. The chest has different names every time.
The chest of expanding names. Okay, I got one. One.
What is it?
Oh, that's Kaguya-sama. Love is
Kaguya-sama,
war.
love is war. Oh my god. I willed it into existence.
This is
Kaguya-sama, love is war.
I don't know why it looks like this.
Let's go.
That's not.
Go.
No, it's not.
We see you, Commodore. I see you for sure. So you know, chest, here's a pro gamer move. If you're ever low on health, look for a chest that says mimic. There's usually a health potion in them. Oop.
Oh, good tip.
Oh. Thank you.
I'll let all my players at the table know.
All my D&D players know. Kaguya-sama, Love is War. We're gonna watch the first 4 episodes, and I really think Matt's gonna like it. I watched episode 1. I've only seen episode 1. I have the manga. I'm reading the manga. I watched episode 1 and I was like, I need to stop because I want to watch it with Matt. So, um, Kaguya-sama, Love is War for the next couple weeks. That's what we're going to be watching. Watch episode 1 through 4 of Kaguya-sama. It's on Crunchyroll. It might be on Netflix, maybe. But that's our new personality for the next couple weeks. So next Thursday, we're going to be talking about episode 1 through 4 of Kaguya-sama. If you'd like to join in on the discussion, tell us about what you like, what you didn't like about the anime during the week. You can join the Discord there and go to the little anime club thing. Oh, it's this character. Okay, wait. Do you not like it? It's let's see what this is about. It's with what's her name? Fuck. It starts with
I've
she's
never
really
watched
popular.
it.
You're right. She's really popular. It's a meme. It's Chica. It's with Chica. Well,
Yeah,
not that's not her name. Is that her name? I don't know if that's her name or
might
not.
be just the emote name then, but I think I know.
She does a Chica dance. Mm.
I can't wait.
It's really good.
Yippee!
It's really good. I promise you, first episode, I was like, let's go. The manga's okay. Anime is probably better. But 1 through 4 of Kaguya-sama, Love is War. I think that was that Smudge's pick? I think it was Smudge pick.
I think so.
They're not even here to see it.
I didn't write that one on there.
Boo.
Write one on there. Rip.
All right, everybody, change over your names to something Love is War related, and let's watch it, episode 1 through 4 by next week. Thank you so much for joining us on this adventure through Madoka Magica. It was a lot of fun, and now we go on to something completely different, as we always do. Make
And
sure to
that's the magic of the chest.
yes, it's so good. Make sure to follow, subscribe, all that stuff wherever you're watching. Leave us a 5-star review or whatever. But Matt, when you're not talking about magical girls, where can they find you?
Find me streaming on Twitch at it's Matt_Galley. Oh, I'm sorry, at Matt_Galley, MATT_GALLY. You can find me on other socials at it's Matt_Galley. Same name with an ITS at the front. When we're not here, Jules, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/JulesTheHuman. I'm playing a lot of Overwatch. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel. If in case you missed a little bit of this, or if you want to go back to past episodes, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/JulesTheHuman. Jules the Human on Twitter, all that stuff. I really hope you enjoyed this, and I really hope you come back next week. And I hope you watch episode 1 through 4 of Kaguya-sama, Love is War. Just look up Love is War, because that's how this works. You go watch it, and we watch it together, and it's a lot of fun. So I hope you go watch the show and continue on this anime journey with us. But yeah, that's the end of this episode, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.